I feel like something's chasing me.
Tangled in a web, I call it life inside my head, becoming blurred by so much said. I'm in too deep waters I tread, can't catch my breath. A shadow chasing me, a game of hide and seek. Found they'll have a
All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories, and I think that's my new favorite thing. It's seeing Mikey playing air drums in the background. That's fucking funny. All right,
I'll make an
today-
air drum music video.
today we have a very interesting show for you guys. First and foremost, let me introduce Allison and Miles. But we're currently speaking with Miles, correct?
Yeah.
And you have a condition that they call dissociative identity disorder?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I think the most interesting thing of this is that the Miles part, which you are now, is the atheist, and the Allison part is still somewhat a believer. So I think the first thing I kind of want to know is, how do you guys kind of square off this difference?
It's a Thunderdome.
The fact is that she and I have been through hell together, because we
Okay.
had a psychotic condition, right? So
I don't know if I call it a psychotic condition, maybe a psychological
Well-
condition, but
no, separate from the DID.
oh, I see. Okay.
So we've had this, like, these delusions and these fantasies,
Mm-hmm.
which have brought us really closely together,
Okay, cool.
right? And I realized that whole process was like a trick of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And for Allison, she's more of like a magical thinker,
Okay.
right? Like, I'm totally not. Right?
All right.
Like, and so we just kind of agree to disagree.
Okay.
You know, like, what's the point in, like, arguing about it or putting one another down about it?
Yeah. Well, that
Right.
doesn't help anything anyways, right?
Yeah. You know, especially sharing the same body. Like, that makes
Right.
it a lot more complicated.
Oh, I can't say I can imagine, because I can't, but sure, I imagine it's a bit of a conundrum for you.
Mhm.
All right, so Miles, I want you to tell me about you, because just before we went live, you were saying you kind of have always been an atheist, more or less. Like, what does that mean exactly? Like, you were telling me a little bit about your background, so why don't you let the folks that are hanging out and watching know a little bit about that?
Well, I always thought that my dad was lost in a fantasy,
Okay.
right? Like, and the fact is that he was a terrible human being.
Your father.
Did it glitch again?
Nope, you're still there. You're saying
But-
terrible human being. Your father was a terrible human being.
Yeah, and my perspective from a really young age was that my dad was
A hypocrite?
a hypocrite.
Okay.
And the fact was that if there was, I didn't believe that a God existed. Like, I knew that it was bullshit. I knew that Santa was bullshit.
Okay.
And I just instinctively knew it. But if God was real, the fact is that I'd be opposed to it because it would be evil. Like, the God that my dad was presenting to me was not an
Mhm.
Especially if it's from the Old Testament.
yeah,
Yeah.
right? And I honestly wanted no part of it,
All right.
right?
Did they try to take you to church and stuff like that when you were younger?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how did you? Because Allison being a believer, the believer side of you, was it usually her in control when you were going to church, or
No, it was usually me, and I was bored out of my mind because she is extraordinarily shy,
okay?
right? So she didn't like being around people, and we got like bullied and teased a lot when we were kids,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, it is what it is, right? Like,
Sure.
but we were isolated, and like the reality is that it was the two of us. Like, we each had imaginary friends where it was the other one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Like, at the age of 3, I had an imaginary friend named Rosie.
Okay. I think I had
And
one too when I was a kid.
Me too.
yeah, and Allison had an imaginary friend named Miles, and we would talk through the wall towards one another. Like, we'd actually hear one
Mikey's got a new phone, people. So
Damn it. Go on silent mode, you thing.
yeah, my new
another.
phone comes tomorrow.
Pro
So
Max?
What?
Getting that Pro Max?
Oh fuck no. S23 Ultra Pro.
Yeah.
I'm not an Apple fan, buddy. Anyway, carry on,
Cool.
House. Carry on, Mal.
no, I'm pretty high right now, so I
No,
kind of lost the thread of my thought.
it's cool. Well, we are your guide rails.
Yes, indeed. And I'm kind of jealous. So because I'm not yet.
Which flavor of church were you going to at like a younger age?
Pentecostal.
Oh, so
Oh,
y'all
okay.
were shouting, getting slain in the spirit.
Oh yeah.
Snakes? No, that's the other ones.
Well, I mean, they did protect like the eaters of poison and shit like that. Like, they did do that.
Are those the
Mhm.
snake people for real? Pentecostals?
Yeah, I believe so. They do all
Yeah,
the
but
crazy shit.
I don't think up here. I don't think they have the snakes though, because I don't think we. Well, I guess we could. We have rattlers up here, so we could do the poisonous snake thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ones that keep doing it, I keep hearing the news bits, and they all die from the snake bits. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Apparently, it's not working very well.
No. No. Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought again.
Gregory James Coots was a Pentecostal pastor in Kentucky who was featured in the National Geographic Channel reality TV show Snake Salvation, which documented the lives of people who practiced snake handling. He died from a rattlesnake bite during a service. Come on, man. Not at service. You got rattlesnakes in the church? Tripping.
Hi, JIL.
Tripping.
JIL's with us.
Well, I mean,
Hi, my name is JIL, and I'm an ex-atheist.
that's the thing about the concept, like, behind heaven, Like
Yeah.
being too dangerous, right? Because if you live according to your own morals and put down the things that you think that your God is going to be against, right? You're
Mhm.
going to think that you have a guaranteed shoe-in, so life is going to be cheap.
Yeah, what's the point, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Just
like this
wiping
is
your
just a
feet.
place to wipe your feet. Yeah.
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 You know, like it's just, I find it a sad state of being.
Oh, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and like I find that's the interesting thing about the relationship between my belief and Allison's belief is my atheistic beliefs have influenced her spiritual belief. So when I say, well, what about this? Like, this is kind of bullshit. She kind of turns around and goes, what about this? You know, and
Right.
it's interesting, you know, the way that we're playing off one another as far as our individual beliefs.
Well, what do some people, you know, the funny thing is, what you believe is literally based on where you're born,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
It's
I
all
mean,
it's all geography.
it's geography based. I mean, we'll take JIL in the chat there. If they were born in India, there's a very good chance they might be a Hindu right now. So
I'm gonna guess a 99% chance that there would be the religion that is predominant in their area. 99% chance,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
especially in India.
Well, and I think that that's like my problem with religion, right? Because, like, personally, like, in my own experience, it was a very,
Oh, kind of froze up on us, Miles. It was a very, and now we've kind of lost the sound now.
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, no, now you're back. Okay.
all right.
So your
Did you,
experience, it was very, and then we kind of lost you.
it was a very damaging process. Like, you know,
De-
like the damaging, religion was had a damaging impact on it. And I think that a lot of people can say that.
oh, absolutely. I've had I think we're closing in on 500 interviews, and many of them had trauma from their previous beliefs.
Too many.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, shit. They did over $40,000 for recovering from religion on the big fundraiser the other day. So that was fantastic because now more people can get the help that they need,
Yeah.
which is super important, I think. So. So, of the times that you went to church, was Allison ever present for some of those, or was it usually always you? That you can remember, let's put it that way.
Not really. I don't think that it was really ever her. I think that it was mostly me.
Okay.
I think those memories are distinctly mine,
Okay.
right? Like, because my mode always, like, has been to be in protector mode, right? Like, you know, kind of like a human shield between her and, like, shit, right? So
Okay.
Is there a way we can pull your phone a little bit closer? You're just trailing off on us, and then we can't hear nothing.
Is that better?
Mhm.
There we
Yes.
go.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Sorry.
It's quite all right.
Do I need to restart
No,
or
we got that.
okay?
Um, as Miles, did you ever question the authorities at church? Like, did you ever ask them any questions about, why is this, or like, did you ever have any questions from?
I mostly sullenly rolled my eyes. Right? Like, like it, and it was like hard to like keep that expression of, oh my God, he's doing it again. Like that type of reaction. I couldn't stop it,
Right.
right? Like, so,
I did some similar shit, so I get you.
it's just, I can't recall if I ever I challenged my father once.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well, it was interesting. I was in kindergarten and we got our library cards.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
That's
So
always exciting.
I went to the library because my dad was strictly like no outside media, like no dangerous, satanic, like
Of course.
type media because it could
None
get
of
into
that
your
Lord of the
brain,
Rings or
like
anything.
take you over, right? Like that type of paranoia. Like no
Right.
Stephen King, no, pop
Oh,
music,
wow.
like and so anyways, I went to the library and I got this book that had this vampire with this ghost dog on the cover. And I read that fucking book cover to cover before I went home with it under my arm and presented it to my dad. Like, what are you gonna do? And he just went gray and he took the book and put it on top of the fridge until the week later for me to go take it back.
You'd
And
already read it, so
I felt so superior to him. Like I knew the secret knowledge that the devil doesn't come out of this shit. Like you're
right.
paranoid, man. Like you have no idea like how superior and how just gloaty I felt in that moment. And I knew that I had one up on him.
Did you try to get the book from up there when he wasn't looking or anything like that? Or
No,
just
I
left
had
it?
read the book. I was happy with that. And I also tested the waters with like liking other stuff just to see how far I could push them.
Did you ever like listen to any of that secular rock music while he was around or anything like that? Or
It was more like he was convinced that unicorns were the sign of Satan. So I liked unicorns.
what?
I loved unicorns just for that reason.
That seems intentional. He just didn't want you to be happy. I mean, come on. What's
Unicorns.
satanic about a
Like,
unicorn?
that reason, because I knew that he hated them.
Hold on.
There,
Hold
it's
on.
the other way around.
Hold on. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the CW show when they did all the superhero shows. They had the Legends of Tomorrow on there.
No, I
Yeah.
don't.
Okay,
No.
they had a unicorn on one of the episodes. It was anything but a nice animal. It was spearing everyone with its horn.
Everybody has bad days, Neil.
No, that's what it does. That's why when they went back to sort where you could move around in different dimensions and stuff and different time periods. And they went to this one dimension, and this unicorn, all of them actually were just running around, just spearing kids and stuff. It was crazy.
That's why I always swerve into a herd of unicorns. I gotta take a couple of them out. I'm sick of them. They're a real menace.
yeah. Coming by and stealing my newspaper in the morning.
Yeah, they're like those monkeys in India, like where the guy's just sitting there eating his lunch, and then here come the monkey flying down the tree to steal a sandwich. Same thing with unicorns over here. So yeah, run them over, everybody. See a unicorn, run them over. No unicorns were hurt in the filming of this interview.
Not yet, anyways.
Not yet.
Unicorn logic. Poke around and find out. Yeah. Dave.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a lot of local folks actually in the chat today, Miles. We got Simply Secular Dave and Randolph Richardson, my good friend Randolph, who I haven't spoken to him for a long time.
Good old Randolph.
He's shown up but he's been a busy guy because they're going to be moving soon, so he's taking care of business. It's like, geez.
Yeah, this is a good point. No unicorns in the Bible. Presumably they were on the ark. Yeah, probably
I think
stabbing everybody, stabbing holes in the boat, just making a real mess of it.
The real story is they sank.
Yeah, they don't float. That horn is like lead. Their necks are incredibly strong.
I think when they were talking about the whole unicorns back then, I think they actually meant rhinos or
Rhinos,
something.
yeah.
Something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure.
So every time you see a rhino, just think, what a beautiful unicorn.
As it stabs you.
or a bicorn, because they got two. Some of them have two horns.
Some species have two of them, a big one and a little one. Yes.
Just saying.
Yes. Well, all right.
Don't get me down the rhino rabbit hole.
So what about like other folks that you knew? How religious was like the rest of your family or your neighbors and stuff like that? Were you completely surrounded by this stuff, or was it a little bit less than say at home?
I wouldn't say that we were normal,
Okay.
right? Like,
So, meaning everyone else was sort of on your par, on your level.
yeah, I think that a lot of them were. I don't think that they were like my dad. Like, my dad was like crazy, right? Like, he was not a sane individual. So kind of comparing him with your average, like even Christian or like actual like human being, like, no, man, he was out there.
Well, all right. So when you say he was out there, what kind of ideas did he have that will make you or cause you to think of something like that he was like that?
Because he thought that the end of the world was coming. He had visions of it.
Oh, okay.
He thought that he was supposed to guide a handful of people to a homestead in Alberta to wait out Armageddon and then repopulate the earth afterwards.
Oh.
And
Doomsday prepper.
He was convinced, and I don't know how dark you guys want it, but this is a trigger warning.
No, okay.
Who wants to check out of this? But he was convinced that he could convince me and my sister to be part of his like end world plan, like Lot and his daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, why not? It's in the Bible, right? So I guess it's okay for him to do as a believer.
And he had a tendency towards it anyway, right?
Oh no.
So, he was a fucked up individual, right?
Yep.
I hope you weren't put through anything like that.
Oh, no, that's why I have TID.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. I mean, because that's really shitty.
I've come to terms with it, right? It is what it is. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I guess, but still, that's kind of fucked up. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my big like
The big
yeah.
reveal, I guess. Well, on one hand, I'm pleased that you're comfortable enough to talk about it with us.
Mhm.
On the other hand, I'm like burning up inside with anger because that kind of shit pisses me off to no end.
Mm-hmm.
Abuse of
Yeah.
kids and stuff like that. Fuck that.
Yeah. And for
You're-
religion to be thrown into the mix like it was really
yeah.
unfair, right? Because like I was convinced that I was evil.
Oh, wow. And it was him that I guess that convinced you of this.
Yeah, and
Fucking
I just
trains.
recently got over that,
Okay. You're
right?
not evil. Like I could tell you that right now. You're not evil.
Yeah. But it took a lot of work to get over that, you know.
No, I'm sure.
It does.
How did you finally convince yourself?
Um I came to terms with the darkest aspects of myself through the psychotic delusional thought,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um I became my own person,
Mm-hmm.
really distinctly from Allison,
Okay.
through the psychosis. The psychosis, you have to keep in mind, lasted for like 10 years.
Okay. Was
So,
was was it hard to handle at first? I guess. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean,
did you have
Allison
like trouble understanding which of the two of you were at the time?
not really. I knew that I was a man, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I wasn't a part of her because we were so alien from one another.
Okay.
Like I didn't think that I was part of the same person. I didn't think that
Okay.
she was like part of my body. I didn't think, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I didn't view her body as mine,
Right.
right? And even that's been a process getting over.
Okay. So now I have this question floating around in my head, and when I think of the question, I'm like, I don't want to come across as trying to be a jerk about anything or being offensive about
No,
anything because it's
not at
not
all.
intended at all. But I kind of want to know, like, when you're Miles and you
Yeah.
look at a mirror, let's say, without getting too risque, before you jump in a shower, how do you deal with what you visually see?
I usually don't make eye contact,
Okay, all right.
right? That,
So just go about your business and
yeah,
okay, all right.
you know,
Interesting.
yeah, it's hard for me because I have a bit of dysphoria, right?
Which is completely understandable in this situation for sure.
So that makes it hard for me to like being in this body and
Hmm.
um, not making Allison feel like shit about herself about it, right?
And do you fear that that's what happens?
Yeah,
Have you asked her about it?
I know it's a feedback loop, right? How I feel it affects how she
Okay. Okay.
feels. So, like, I'm trying to say, even if she said, no, 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 it's fine, I wouldn't necessarily believe her on this front because I understand how it works, right?
Mhm. Okay. So I guess you just basically try to do whatever you can to not make her feel negatively.
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially.
All right. And that sounds like fair. I mean, and as you said earlier that you guys have sort of come to an agreement anyways.
Mhm.
Do you just for my own personal interest, like how do you guys divide the time up or do you just sort of say,
We
I'm tired,
try,
you take over or
we try to. We used to be very, very like switchy. It was kind of unfair, right? Because like I was like the stronger, more logical one, and she was
Right.
pride, right? So she would fall back a lot. But then that shifted, and we shared the time pretty evenly.
Okay.
And then just recently, um, I've had a personal situation come up, and I've kind of taken control of the body a little
A
bit,
little bit
right?
more. Okay.
And
Because
she's
of the situation, I'm assuming.
because of the situation, and she's pretty understanding about it, but it is affecting her relationship with our husband,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of working on that. Stick, right? So, you know,
So how does her husband deal with these sort of episodes, I guess you could say?
of me taking control. I mean, it's never really happened before, really. I mean, I've been forced to the front before, but never really like
Okay.
taken like over. Like,
Kind of led her to it, sort of thing.
you know,
One of our chat folks would like to know: do you go to therapy for this kind of thing, or?
oh yeah. Oh yeah, a lot. A lot, a lot.
Okay,
I'm pretty
that's good.
lucky. I'm pretty lucky where I live. I've gotten pretty good services, so
Awesome.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
That's good to hear.
yeah.
I'm assuming you probably because you do it a lot. I'm assuming you feel it helps quite a bit then.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah, it really does.
So
Like
when you go to therapy,
anybody
I'm
who
sorry.
can, I recommend it.
Oh, absolutely. Even people that don't feel like they need it.
hmm
I've been. My mom has a therapist, and although it's been a few years since I've spoken to him, but um, I say everyone should at least talk to them. You know, just spill your thoughts out and see what they make of it all. Right. Even and I was curious too. I always found it was kind of funny. The first time I ever met the therapist, she asked me the whole, the glass half full, half empty sort of question that they sometimes ask, or they'll, that's not how the conversation started. Don't get me wrong, but after having a little bit of a conversation, I was asked how I looked at the glass, and my reply to it was, well, it depends on whether or not you were pouring the water in, or pouring liquid or whatever in, or pouring it out. Because if you're pouring it in, then it's half full, and if you're pouring it out, then it's half empty. So, and she's kind of like, well, okay, I see. So you're more of a I forget what she said exactly, but more like you're one of those rationalist type people that needs to have more information before you can give an answer, kind of thing, right? So
That sounds
I
like
mean,
me as a kid when we went to school to kindergarten again. Um, or no, it was grade one, and we were wearing tights,
Mhm.
and the um, the I shouldn't have said that, but anyways, the teacher said, like, I asked her why I didn't get a gold star, and she was like, well, Allison, you have to fill up your socks. And I'm like, but Mrs. Anderson, I'm wearing tights.
I can't pull
First-
them up. It doesn't work like that. I don't know how to do that. They said that I learned that in third grade.
But yeah, I was traumatized by that woman.
That's
Giving
kind of
me gold
sucks.
stars, you know,
Uh,
judging me for wearing tights.
yeah, yeah. Well, that must have been quite interesting. By the way, whenever you do get that question, the better answer is the cup is always full.
Mm.
It just may not be full of water, but there's other things in that cup as well. So it's
Yep.
always full.
There's at least air in the other half.
That's right. All kinds of particles and molecules and all kinds of things. No such thing as an empty cup.
There is no spoon.
Yeah. The cat is both dead and alive. I've seen a funny
water glass.
Yeah,
See,
I've seen a
that-
funny meme that had a box up against the wall, and there was a sliding glass door, and of course the box is reflected in the window, and on the other side of that window there's a cat sitting in the reflection of the box. So it was like Schrodinger's sliding glass door kind of thing. So kind of funny there.
Goddamn cat.
Yeah, so funny. Anyway, that kind of stuff amuses the crap out of me. So I don't know why, but it does. By the way, Mikey, how can you tell I've been watching One Piece?
Right.
King of the Pirates.
Making all the references.
Yeah. All right. So you haven't, I'm curious to know why, but you haven't mentioned your mom.
My mom was amazing, but she did kind of go along with him a little bit, but not fully. Like when I injured myself when I was a kid, she had the common sense to take me to the doctor and not let him pray over me. Right?
Oh,
So
would he try to do shit like that?
yeah.
Hmm.
So
Just like no medicine, please.
yeah.
Just going to say something real quick to Michael, who's in the chat. Michael, you are incorrect, and I'll tell you why later. He said, in a vacuum, there's an empty glass. Nope. Sorry, pal.
No. It'll disperse.
Well, no. Even in a vacuum, there's stuff.
Well, no one's talking about fucking quarks, Neil. Chill. All right.
It's not just quarks.
You want to talk about
Anyway.
strings? You want to break
No,
it into
no.
strings? What do you want them to
It's
do?
just molecules in general. There's always something in there.
Going subatomic over here? You're going to say time itself is in the glass and that counts as something?
Anyway.
Time in a vacuum? Is that what you're telling me?
If I could put time in a vacuum in a glass. Anyway. Christian Science. Wrong about the empty glass. Chill out, physics nerd. Yeah, thanks, Edger.
She's a nerd too. I don't know why she's calling us nerds.
Yeah. If you can see into the glass, then it's full of light. Well, that would be photons. So yeah, dark matter. They're actually getting closer to what dark matter is, by the way.
They have no idea if they're getting closer.
Nope. I just read a couple articles on that. They're getting much closer. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. We're here to talk to Miles about his lack of belief in God.
Yeah, stay on topic there, Neil.
I'm trying. So, do you have any kids yourself?
Yeah, I have 3.
Did you sort of let them figure out for themselves if they wanted to be believers, or were you sort of like,
Yeah,
it's all
definitely.
bullshit kind of thing?
Definitely.
Okay, so that's fair. All right.
Mm.
I always let the kids make their decisions. I mean, how did things turn out? Like, were they kind of
They're all
your side?
yeah.
They're all. It's funny how that happens these days, eh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, they say the younger generations are the ones that are just abandoning it all because,
Can't be bothered.
well, with today's day and age and all the information that is available out there, they'll
Why
read
would
it
you
for what
believe
it
it?
is and not disbelieve it because some book told them to. Right? So
Yeah.
they're a lot smarter in some ways.
Yeah.
But you put a rotary phone in front of one of them and it's a whole other ballgame. They don't even know how to operate it. They think you just press in the hole. I've seen one kid just pressing in the hole like he's pushing the buttons. And it's like, no, man, you got to roll it like that. That's why it's called a rotary phone. They still didn't get it. It's too funny. Kids are hilarious.
I think that my kids could figure out that it was a phone, at least.
Yeah.
But I don't think
That's-
that they can figure out how to function.
do they even work anymore? I think you can. I don't even think the rotary phones even work anymore. The signal isn't
I don't think they're
recognized.
not on the signal.
They still have push button phones like landlines and stuff, and most of those are cordless now. You don't even really need to have your phone on a cord anymore, right? So, because we have one here, because my roommate likes to give the home number out for like business stuff that she does, and all her friends have her personal cell number, but the business stuff usually will come through the landline.
Mhm.
Other than the phone provider, they'll call her on the cell phone because they know that number. They provided it for her. So anyway, yeah, I think kids today are they're. I mean, unless you're born into like an evangelical / fundamentalist type family, you're going to be too smart for the garbage anymore.
Well, and I think that psychotic, like fundamentalism, that evangelical Christianity or fundamentalist Islam, I don't give a shit what you're talking about, any
No.
type of fundamentalism, is a psychotic divergence from reality,
Oh,
right?
I want a cordless rotary phone. Yeah, I agree.
It's called an emergency flare.
Yeah, there you go.
Smoke signal.
I agree. I mean, you're probably like me in the thought that you have to be somewhat, I'm not going to say fucked up, but you got to be, to believe this stuff, just there's got to be something going on. I mean, if you're raised in it and it's constantly around you, and you just automatically believe that it's all real and true and stuff like that, which that's what they call the indoctrination process, the brainwashing, if you will. So it can be hard to differentiate that from what's really going on, and I get that, but I just can't believe that there are still people out there that literally believe all this stuff. It just blows my mind. In today's day and age, mind you, we've got flat earthers too. So what are you going to do? These fucking morons.
And there's Nazis outside of Disney World.
Yeah.
So everything's.
Yeah,
It's
and
like we're going backwards.
Exactly, and I think that some people are.
Oh, I think they want it. It's like they since the 40s and 50s, the white Christian nationalists or whatever have been in power, and they're starting to lose that power, and that's why they're fighting so much to get more of them in power, because they realize that it's starting to slip and they're going to lose eventually. And I hope it happens sooner than later.
Exactly.
But we have the problem here in Canada now.
Yeah.
There's a group that's trying to, they're getting like $1.3 million is going to be put towards trying to get their people into positions of power, to try and align our laws with the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If there was any religion trying to impose laws on other Christians,
they'd lose it.
Losing their fucking mind.
This is war.
Oh yeah.
They'd be losing their mind.
Oh yeah. I mean, what would they be able to do? I mean, let's say Sharia law became a thing. They have their own version of it. Let's be honest. But what would they do? They couldn't do anything, because the moment they raise their voice about it, they'd be executed. Right? So
yeah, exactly.
That's what they told me was going to happen after 9/11. Just get ready for the Sharia law. No Sharia law, but we sure still got that Patriot Act, don't we?
Oh fuck. Holy shit. It's like people, okay, religion is a thing of human past. Okay, we don't need it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We should have evolved beyond that shit by now. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's been a thorn in our side for many a millennia. And I've said this before, And I don't know if there's really any validity to the statement in and of itself, but I was thinking, like, how much further ahead would we be if there were no like religious overlords looking over everything and kiboshing our new scientific knowledge and stuff like that? Because they did that. They burned a lot of books. They
Burned a lot of scientists.
burned or locked them up or whatever. Like, so what do you feel about that, Miles?
Well, I was just going to say I have a meme that says, if you weren't somebody that they would have burned alive in 1600s, are you really living?
I like it.
So,
Oh, I would have been burnt alive. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think that
Yep.
all of us would have been.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I can't really say that because I may have very well been one of them because of the time frame too. I would have been born into that time. So my mental state would have been, in parlance with that time.
Yeah.
So who knows? I may have been a believer.
That's the alternate universe in which I kill Neil.
Right.
I have to take him out in the darkness of night. It's an assassin job, and I use a poison dart.
No, Mikey.
He goes very, very peacefully, but he does poop his pants.
Don't you usually poop your pants when you die?
Yeah, everything comes out because your body loses control, right?
Right,
That's why my dad's or my friend's dad, who's a coroner, says there's no dignity in death for real. He goes, you have to see it.
And I think that's like the main reason, like that's the main thing that has kept me from ever like doing anything is
Right.
the
Like
idea of
self-harm kind of
pooping
thing.
myself. The idea of pooping myself is just, I can't even like entertain it.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, if you are thinking of doing something like that, at least throw on some Depends for them, eh?
Yeah,
So
no
they can
kidding.
clean
Like,
it up easy.
no kidding.
I always think to myself, every time I get out of the shower and I'm standing there about to shave and stuff like that, you know what? I could drop dead right now, and this would be quite the sight for somebody. I'm going to put some underwear on. So
Yeah.
before I start shaving, just in case. See, I'm thinking about you folks, all right?
The poor EMT is just gonna be like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's Monday. I'm just trying to start my week. This guy's willy is all out. What is going on? You told me there was no willy.
Is Willie's all like what? Is it garden hose or something? Like
Yes.
reel that fucking thing back in. Man.
Yeah. Put it back in the wheelbarrow and let's get out of here.
Yeah. But I'm not dead yet. Sorry, a little Monty Python there. Just
Yes, you are.
lighten the mood. Yeah, yes, you are. You will be in a minute.
I feel better.
I'm happy. Oh fuck, those guys were hilarious. Yeah. Let's say if you could go back in time a little bit to your younger self, what kind of advice would you give your younger self, knowing now what you know?
I think that I would probably say, I would probably tell him the existence of Allison, honestly. I was going to say one thing to
You tell them what? Say that again?
the existence of Allison.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry she hasn't shown up yet, but I'm nervous.
Oh, you don't have to be nervous. It's just us.
Yeah.
But
Allison's hung with us already too, as well. So
yeah,
like in the after party and stuff.
But yeah. So what did I say?
Run.
But anyways, yeah, I am a little distracted.
That's all right. It's the weed.
Yeah, I know. But
I should have got baked too. I feel kind of out of place, man.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize. I'm just fucking with you.
I don't partake in your devil's lettuce.
Sure, buddy.
Bye. My husband is going to soccer.
Oh, well, have a good game.
Yeah, kick a home run.
Kick a home run. Yeah. All the way into the hole. Hole in one.
Grand slam in one.
Grand slam in one, yeah. Grand slam. Whoa, holy mixed metaphors, Batman.
Oh, what would I say to my younger self? That's right.
Yes.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
read,
I would probably just tell him that there was this whole other person there to take care of him so that he didn't have to be alone.
Oh, very cool.
Right?
I like
And
that.
that's probably what I would have said to him. I don't think that I would have like altered anything
Okay.
about
I don't know. I might have attempted to alter some of the abuse stuff for sure.
oh yeah, that. But if that happened, then one of us would lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Jeez, phone's going crazy now. Oh, it's because it's 6:00 and all the new videos are coming out of all the people that I've subscribed to. So you're going to hear a few more probably.
Ding, ding, ding.
And if you're not subscribed and you're watching this, number one,
what is wrong with you?
You're a weirdo. Hit the button already. Just push it. No one's looking.
Well, we did start a little bit late today because we were trying to.
Technical difficulties.
We had sound issues, folks, and the sound issue was me. I was connected through the Bluetooth, but I hadn't switched over to the headphone thing. It was still on the speakers, but not just the speakers on my TV. Because I was watching One Piece through the computer onto the TV earlier, so which is why you see what you see down here, the King of the Pirates.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
I'm gonna be King of the Pirates.
I was like, oh, he's just Luffying like he normally does.
Oh yeah, I need a straw hat. That's what I need.
Oh man.
Oh well.
We'd never get that straw hat off of you. That bandana is fucking gone. Dunzo. Bandana's out. Getting a new logo drawn up.
Well,
if Neil
Zorro wears a bandana.
Zorro
wears a bandana.
You're not Zorro in your mind. You're Luffy. I know it.
I like Zorro though. He's my favorite.
Is he?
Him and Frankie. I love Frankie too. A cyborg powered by cola. Like that's the best thing ever.
I'm with it.
Well, I think maybe is there anything that you feel like you may have missed or left out that you want to sort of tell us about right now, or should we just hop into an after party and we can have some more fun?
I think that we should hop into an after party.
Okay. Well, Miles and Allison, I know you're in there too. I want to thank you guys for joining Mikey and me and sharing your story with us. It was very brave and very cool as well. I've learned some really neat shit today, and I think that, and so I have to thank you for that.
Thank you. It was nice
it was nice to meet you as well. We are going to do an after party, folks. So if you want to jump in and meet Miles and possibly Allison, if she,
she'll probably be around. She's just kind of stuff out.
She's like, hey, let me talk.
Pass the microphone.
She does get like that sometimes.
Does she? Okay. Pass the mic, yeah. Over here. It's like that internal microphone. My turn.
Pass the
you remember those cheap little fucking plastic ones that you spoke into and it was more like echoey sounding?
I love that thing.
Yeah. Those were neat. All right. Anyways, thanks everybody out in the chat. Great to have you guys here with us over on Twitch and here on YouTube. And also thanks to our amazing patrons and members. And if you want to be either one of those, there are ways to do so, all linked below in the description box. And there's also the little join button for the membership thing. Also, if you'd like to follow Miles/Allison on Twitter, I have a Twitter link there. So you can follow them there. And yeah, let's do it, man. And like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time. And Miles, stick around. Don't close out your window yet.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Sorry.